Every man feels a pull toward something greater. A desire to build, achieve, rise, win, leave a mark. That desire is ambition, the force that pushes you forward even when the world expects you to stay small. But ambition has a shadow. A quiet enemy that looks like confidence, talks like strength, and disguises itself as pride. That enemy is ego. And if you don't learn to separate the two, ego will sabotage every goal you set for yourself. Most men fail not because they lack ambition, but because ego hijacks their ambition and turns it into self-destruction. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. To them, ambition was the fire that gives a man direction. Ego was the smoke that blinds him. Ambition builds. Ego inflates. Ambition pushes you forward. Ego convinces you that you've already arrived. Ambition makes you disciplined. Ego makes you delusional. Ambition keeps you hungry. Ego keeps you fragile. When ego takes the lead, a man stops growing long before he fails. He becomes defensive instead of curious, reactive instead of strategic, emotional instead of disciplined. He takes everything personally, even things that aren't about him. He stops listening, stops learning, stops observing his own weaknesses. He becomes the version of himself that ambition was supposed to save him from. The Stoics knew that the greatest battles happen inside the mind, long before the real world ever tests you. And ego is the opponent that smiles at you while planning your downfall. Think about the moments when you've sabotaged yourself. The opportunities you didn't take because you thought you were above starting small. The lessons you ignored because you believed you already knew enough. The habits you avoided because discipline felt beneath you. The people you pushed away because your pride couldn't handle honesty. The situations where you pretended you were fine when you were actually unprepared. That wasn't ambition. That was ego. Ambition says, I have more to build. Ego says, I've already built enough. Ambition says, I need to get better. Ego says, I'm already better. Ambition says, I'm responsible for my progress. Ego says, the world should reward me for trying. Ego demands recognition. Ambition demands improvement. The Stoics avoided self-sabotage because they didn't let their ambition become an identity. They saw ambition as a tool, not as proof of worth. A Stoic can be highly ambitious while remaining grounded. He can aim high without thinking he's above the work. He can be confident without being arrogant. He can pursue greatness without becoming blind to his flaws. To the Stoics, ego was dangerous because it disconnects a man from reality. It blurs the difference between who you are and who you think you are. It makes you believe progress is happening in your mind, even when it's not happening in your actions. Ego protects your feelings. Ambition protects your future. And a man who prioritizes his feelings over his future will always stay stuck. There's a moment in every man's life when ambition and ego collide. You feel a pull toward growth, but you also feel resistance, the resistance to being corrected, challenged, humbled. You want to rise, but you don't want to face the parts of yourself that keep you low. You want success, but you don't want the process that creates it. That internal conflict is the battlefield where self-sabotage begins. The Stoics won that battle by mastering the one skill ego fears the most, self-honesty. A Stoic asks himself hard questions without flinching. Where am I pretending? Where am I acting bigger than my discipline? Where am I expecting results I haven't earned? Where am I letting pride drive the decisions that should be guided by reason? He looks at his weaknesses without shame and his achievements without obsession. He doesn't need to display his progress to feel like he's progressing. He doesn't need validation to continue. He doesn't rely on applause to stay consistent. Ambition is internal. Ego is performative. Self-made success comes from the man who stays grounded while climbing, not the man who inflates himself while standing still. Ego wants shortcuts. Ambition wants mastery. Ego wants attention. Ambition wants capability. Ego wants to look powerful. Ambition wants to become powerful. The Stoic path avoids self-sabotage by keeping ambition clean, free from the noise of comparison, insecurity, pride, and fantasy. Ambition built on ego collapses. Ambition built on self-discipline compounds. When you remove ego from the equation, something remarkable happens. You stop being attached to how success looks, and you start focusing on what success requires. You stop trying to appear confident, and you start acting competent. You stop pretending you're already the man you want to become, and you start becoming him. And the world responds to this version of you. People trust him. Opportunities find him. Obstacles don't intimidate him. Mistakes don't destroy him. Growth doesn't scare him. A Stoic's ambition is dangerous, not because of its size, but because of its stability. He cannot be flattered into complacency. He cannot be offended into quitting. He cannot be triggered into weakness. He cannot be distracted by ego. He outgrows self-sabotage by refusing to worship the version of himself he hasn't earned yet. In the end, ambition is the fire that builds your future. Ego is the smoke that suffocates it. And the man who learns the difference becomes unstoppable. The Stoics mastered ambition by mastering themselves. And once a man learns to master himself, there is no version of his life he cannot build.